Good evening, everyone. I hope you have all had fabulous days. Let's head on into Collectively Rewilding. Okay, so much going on all the time. And speaking of new activity, let's see what Miss Tammy's been up to since I was in here. She's had some really neat posts today. You guys should definitely check those out. Lots of really fun, eclectic stuff, as she likes to do. And in the garden area, I don't think you've all heard that I'm doing the gardening certification, which I'm really excited about. And these are what we are looking at in the garden today for us here. Ethel and I were talking on the phone. She's not here with us tonight, but we were talking and I was taking this picture and I'm like, oh, that's really pretty. There's God rays. And then I'm like, okay, but I want some without the God rays. And so I came over and got a different angle and I'm like, okay, God's telling me, no, you can't kick me out of your photo. If I want to photobomb your photo, I'm here. And so you have to find the beauty amidst the weeds in the rewilding, right? Because we're just bringing that life back to the soil, but it's definitely there. Lots of fun. All right. How about for you guys? Any outdoor stuff you've got going on, things you've been doing, or things going on in your gardening type areas of your life? No thoughts, nothing. Everybody goes silent.
Oh, just me just working on the assignment that you gave me yesterday. Just writing the letter and just gathering my thoughts so I can call the individuals that you provided me yesterday, and just like cleaning my yard and cutting those some of those salt cedars a little bit, and just
Mhm.
cleaning that area, and uh, finding cool weeds to eat.
Oh man, she's got some stuff going. Did you post the pictures of your purslane?
No, I haven't yet. Like, I'm always on my phone, and I
Do
always
you mind
like,
if I go into our messenger chat and
yeah,
show
yeah,
everybody?
yeah. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so let's do that, you
Take it.
guys, because she's got some really neat stuff. I don't have a Google over there. So let's go here. Okay, and excuse whatever it shows up in these stories. I really don't spend any time in Facebook anymore. There's been some crazy things starting to show up in my stories. I don't know where they're coming from. All right, so let's find Miss Tammy here. And can't we go full on
You
into
can go onto my feed, and just go.
Oh, is it all on your feed?
Yeah,
Okay, let's
I
do
don't,
that then.
yeah, I
There's
never
nothing down there
messaged
we
you.
don't want to see any more than those stories, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
just my gardening and some. I don't
and
know.
some pretty artwork
Yeah,
there. Okay. Well, and
yeah.
dog stuff, of course. There's got to be dog stuff.
Yes,
So this is
there
it
we go.
right here, you guys. Look at this glorious area of purslane that she's got. Purslane is a wild edible, and this is just glorious. Hers it wraps around. Um, so what are you just put up this wiring, didn't you? Do you have plans for
No, it's just I'm trying to keep the dogs out. So that's
mm,
just like
mhm.
temporary, but right now it's off because I'm kind of going through there and cleaning out the area, and probably gonna harvest some of that purslane because it's flowering, and that's the
Is
best
that
time to.
I was going to ask you, does that make it better or less desirable?
Um, well, no, you just have to. You don't take the root out or anything. You keep the root there. You just trim it, and then
Hmm.
it just keeps growing back. So I'm gonna keep it, since it's $2 at the store. That's a lot of money. And just the seeds, like
For something that
are,
just volunteered in your yard, right?
yeah. So I'm like,
Hmm.
heck yeah, I don't need to go to the farmer's market. It's right here outside my kitchen. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You know.
It's wonderful. And I'm glad that you realized what it was. Yeah, they had some growing outside the last actual apartments, right? With the place we were here before we bought our house was a stick built home that had two floors that were split into two apartments. But right before that, we lived in an actual, apartment building. And they let me garden, but then their gardeners tore it all up. And I didn't expect them to let me keep the purslane. I didn't even try to talk them into it. Hold on, let's see if we can get Miss Ethel to come to class. Hello, Ethel. We're all in class. Say hello. Well, you have to be here.
So
You have to be here without being on my phone if you would like to be here. But I can call you afterwards if you have a question. Yes, yes. The class today was on. It went. You were waiting and then you were gone. But come into class now so that I'm not leaving these guys hanging. Bye. Silly. She probably has a question about LH too. And then she was in Country Living and Business earlier, and I saw her there, and it was 20 minutes until class was supposed to start, and then she popped back out. She didn't see that it got postponed. Miss Megan had great news today, and I can share it now that she's already shared it. But Megan, who hosts with us for Action Plan for Your Nonprofit, went to another town's meeting. I thought it was her own town, but it was another town's meeting. And while she was there, she got to meet her assemblyman, and he invited her to have a one-on-one discussion about all the different grants that she's trying to bring into that community. Really some amazing things. And so you guys should definitely go and watch that replay in LH2 if you're interested in that. She's got so many neat things that she got to talk about and may be able to implement because of talking to this assemblyman, because she took that moment. And I'm like, oh my goodness, Megan, you have to come and be a guest host on community outreach, those how-tos, right? She's amazing at it. She's got one heck of a network. Okay, so anyway, this purslane of Miss Tammy's here. See how it just wraps around? And then some more of her is this
Yeah, it's the aloe.
It is aloe. I thought you weren't going to put it outside.
Well, I'm actually starting to put some along where, because I don't have rain gutters. Okay, so there's an area where it just like the water just comes down a lot. So I'm like, you know what, I might as well put, something there that loves water. And
you could get cloche. I think that's how it's pronounced. It's a CLOCH.
Yeah, it's like a brown thing, and it
No,
soaks up
it's
the water.
clear. It's specifically clear because you said it gets kind of cold, colder than you necessarily want.
No, I said it gets wet. It floods right there. So that's why I put the aloe, because like right where the awning is, I don't have like rain gutters. So that's a plant that likes water, and it's just sand right there, So I'm gonna see if it like prevents a lot of flooding in that area, because like I said, I don't have rain gutters. So when the aloe
some of that will definitely help. You will probably want more than just one plant, right?
Yeah, so I have them. Yeah, so I'm gonna put a lot of the ones that I have along. I'll show you pictures, but yeah, I just have an idea to see how it works with the.
I thought you had said that it was gonna get too cold for it though, as the season continued on.
Oh no, they're like those aloes are, resilient. They just love.
Well, that's what I had thought, but I didn't want to argue, right? Everywhere I've ever lived, it was definitely too cold to be planting the aloe outside.
Oh no.
LA, but right? So I don't know how cold it gets on your hills in the winter.
It doesn't. Like, it doesn't get cold. It does get cold, but like it's mostly like really windy. I mean, we do get cold, but not like, oh my God, like below zero or anything. No, it does get cold.
Do you reach like 20s?
No.
Okay.
On maybe like on a cold, maybe on a cold day, but no, not normally or typically. That we just stay around like the 30s,
And then that's on a kind of sheltered place, isn't it? It looks like it's got some really good light up against that warm colored.
Oh yeah,
rock
for sure.
Or the adobe of your, adobe of your house, right? That's what you have, an adobe covering there.
It's just like I don't know. It's just where the kitchen is, and that's where they put
this cover right here. See this? Is this adobe or some other kind of?
Oh no, that's the wall. That's the structure of the house.
Adobe is a type of a wall.
Oh, okay. I don't know. You speak English. I don't freaking know those terminology.
Well, I mean, it is actually, yes, a Spanish word, but it's a very common American style of building, and that's what we call it in English or Spanish. I believe it could be, maybe have some more accenting to it, but no, you're so silly, I love you. Okay, so anyway, continuing on, right? So, are these some plant structures right here that you're going to do something with that we can't quite see?
Well, yeah, there's actual what do you call it? A fountain there. Okay, so there's a really cute water fountain. So I have two of them.
One not in the picture, is it? I don't remember seeing that. I didn't get to watch the video, and we don't quite have time. We're going to run out of time for anybody else.
Yeah. So those are the aloes that Daryl just transplanted, and I go out there every day, water them. They're doing really good. My rosemary is doing fabulous. My lavender.
I think these are so pretty.
It starts with a C.
Is that right?
So it starts with a C.
It does. Okay.
I
They're
can't
really
pronounce.
pretty.
Yeah, I got them at Home Depot. If once I look at the name, I'll let you know. But yeah, they're doing really good. I move my plants around a lot, you guys, because every plant needs to be moved around sometimes. So what I'm learning that, since I've been moving them around, they're getting different light at different places, So
And
I'll switch
also,
them.
you'd want
Yeah.
to turn them around as plants.
Yeah, that's what I do. I turn them around and I move them. I
Mhm,
rotate them,
mhm.
I just
So you're
starting
not
to.
really moving their location so much as just giving them that nice little spin when they
Yeah,
need it.
sometimes I'll put them in the corner and then I'll move them like every couple days or something just to get them, adjusted to different types of sunlight and
Mhm.
shades and stuff like that.
Well, they're vigorously beautiful, right? They're just beautiful, beautiful plants. And this is your lavender that you, let's see if you have a close, oh, nope, not in this one. But your lavender that, oh goodness, got nice trees out there. So tell them about
That's
your lavender.
boron. That's boron.
Oh, that was boron, okay, right?
Yeah.
Lots of trees then. Yeah.
Oh, and boron?
Hmm.
No.
I didn't
They
think so. So
no,
you've got a nice tree there. That's kind of
It's
nice.
only one. That's the can place. So in the back of like the liquor, they have this big tree that
Mhm.
they store all the fresh cans, and they have shade, a tree.
All right. Well, sounds like she kind of wound down there, guys. Lots going on over there for sure. Anyone else want to share anything about what you guys have going on? No? All right. Hold on. I know there was some. Oh, okay. So this is hilarious. Tammy, she's got these great different posts in here that you guys should definitely check out. So let's just kind of scroll past them. Some wild fruit recipes there, things about foraging. I haven't seen this one yet. It was a brand new one. Delaying breakfast by just an hour could shorten your life. Oh, I don't eat breakfast very well. Let's see. We're almost to the post here. It's like right below this, I think. Yes. Okay. So she posted this 18 hours ago, right? And I'm like looking at this and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Wait, hold on. Let me look at that. I have this book. It's hilarious. And it's a really good book. As I
How
have
many do
obviously,
you have of them? There's a few of them. Is
I think I have any more by this gentleman, but I really like the articles that you shared
yeah,
up in here. I
for
tried to
sure.
follow him, but you have to like follow him on Facebook. Let me see. Can you follow him on YouTube? Is
On
also
YouTube,
on
yeah. That's how I.
Okay, okay.
That's
I just was in
I'm
the
YouTube.
moment. Right? For sure. Yeah, that's really cool. I'll have to subscribe on my main channel too, not like necessarily collectively rewilding. That is one of my main channels, but just the main channel that I listen to music on. It's a completely different email, right? That I used to use when I had a daycare. So it has a completely different email. Funny stuff though. Did I show what oh yeah, just that this, oh no, that's also funny too, because Jay was in the background. I was showing that I had the pictures, right? And then that's my face here. I'm like, oh my goodness, my silly husband, because he was photobombing and I'm like, okay, babe, I'm trying to take this picture. You're kind of photobombing back there. And he had like his back to me. And then he turned around and he did his face. Oh, craziness. I love that guy. All right. Funny stuff. Lots that are, lots of things that are definitely going on in the background, you guys. Excuse me. I'm sorry. We're quitting smoking and we're smoking those puffy air things. And it brings up the yuck, right? But it gets stuck. And then you're like, it's not a lot of fun, but it's better than smoking cigarettes, right? It's not quite time. Say hi to everybody if you're going to butt in. You have to wait. It's not your turn. Not your turn. And so what we're doing with Miss Julia tomorrow actually should be to tie it down. I think she's finally ready. She's so busy. Let LH2 keeps her hopping, right? As well as her own community and all of that. And so we should have these new pieces for our launch pad. I'm going to talk to her. I really want that icon change. Like the rocket, it makes sense, but it doesn't fit our community, right? So I want it to be a lily pad, and if not a lily pad, then some other thing besides a mechanical object that's shooting for space. which is of course part of nature. Yes, and we do share events and things like that in here when fun things are going on, but not really our focus, right? And so funny stuff. And then we'll get this tied down. And then we're going to build a whole new onboarding email kit. And so that's going to be modeled a lot after what we're going to see coming out in LH2, actually. And so if you guys haven't been paying attention to emails, but you still get emails, maybe look around at them a little bit more. I think you're going to see some interesting things pop up to rejuvenate both LH2 and then following suit when we're ready. It's going to take me a minute. I've never tried to set up an email kit, and I will rely heavily on Miss Julia's help and guidance, but I think it's going to be fun. And we're going to do small things like create a community newsletter that goes out, maybe once a week or once every other week, once every month at the longest. And that will center a lot around what our theme for 2026 will be. In the stay tuned area, we have our gardening planner. And I'm not sure, I think we might have invited you, Candace. Let's check. If I've invited you, I can't re-invite you, unfortunately. I know you weren't in the class when we were talking about it, but we invited several people. There you are. Okay, I get to invite you. And so this is the theme that we'll be rolling out for 2026. And we have this behind the scenes view for those of us that are in that little inner circle that we talked about that are regularly here, scattered all over the country, yes, but our little inner circle. And this is really neat. And so for any of you who felt that you wanted to do something with your garden, or you tried to do something with your garden and it didn't work out the way that you wanted to, right? Like Wendy, we kind of started talking pretty late about what you could do. Now you're going through a season where you could just, as we've talked, you could start anytime that you want. So you can come in here and anytime you wanted to start fresh, you could jump into March and April's little lessons here and start doing different things to move forward in a small fashion, right? That was another class that I'm not sure if you were there for, Miss Wendy. Oh my goodness, excuse me. The big thing is when it's not something that you're familiar with, you don't want to start large, all right? Now, I've been around it my entire life, and I've had plans in my head that I could never fully implement because we moved around so much. I've really, not exaggerating, moved right around 60 times in my life. Some of them in the same cities sometimes, but a lot of times not. And so, yeah, I'm a little worn out sometimes, right? You guys get to see that. But in fact, a lot of you who are a part of the LH2 crew have seen many of those moves over the past 5 years. We've moved 8 times in about 6 years now, actually. So it was 8 times in 5 years. Now it's about 8 times in 6 years, and we'll be here, thank goodness, for hopefully 5 to even maybe longer. We don't know if we can get that big country property. That would be a reason to leave. Otherwise, we just love this little property. It's really quite ideal for us. And so anybody that wants to start off can jump in to March and April. That's here in this little group. And we'll unveil it for everyone and make it public as of January. And this will be the themes that we follow for the whole year next year. In fact, we're going to follow it for 2 years. And so the first year, right now, it's in here for just us. Kind of check it out. If you guys see something you think is like maybe, for instance, March is really long. So I'm going to break a few of those off and put it into the earlier months and a few of them off and put them into some later months. And so if you see things like that and you're like, oh my gosh, I really think that this should be in April. This is what we're doing right now, right? We're testing it out before we even unveil it to the whole of Collectively Rewilding. There's about 20 of us, maybe 25 of us. And then inside of Collectively Rewilding, there are a little bit over 160 members. I can't remember, 161, 165. And we're going to build this email kit all around this gardening planner. And so we get to test it out. And so those of you who are in locations down in the South, so many of you are, as we discussed earlier, and you can start coming in and looking at any of this at any point to push forward. Or for like myself, I am really hoping we're going to be able to put this Walipini together before the ground is frozen here in Utah. And in that case, I will get to start my first true vegetable fruit style gardening on this property in the coldest months of the year, which I just think is so very incredibly like my personality. It's just hilarious. And so this is a really fun area for any of you to jump into, and staying with that small idea. Don't overwhelm yourself. I promise you, I do it and it's not a lot of fun. So you guys have seen what I've been trying to deal with. You've seen those huge piles of dirt and everything. And yes, I have plans and I'm going to accomplish it. But I promise you, for most people, the big, big things like that are going to overwhelm you to the point that you're going to just not have any fun. And what happens when we don't have fun most of the time? We tend to kind of move away from that idea, right? And that's a lot of what this Gardenary certification is going to really focus on, is keeping it in a place where we can really accomplish what we want to, right? We don't want to, we have these big, big dreams and we can build up to those big dreams. It's funny, right, Benny? I was talking about that with Benny earlier. And if I want to have my dreams, right, I have to focus on them. And sometimes focusing on our dreams means taking small steps. Like all the times that I've moved around to apartments after apartments, to rented houses, to different states and different projects that were in gardens I was going to have to leave behind. And Wendy, last Sunday, we did read an article about gardening in a small space. And it was like really encouraging and uplifting about, you know, doing what you can where you are. And so if you want to check that out, we have it in here in the, I have to think, right? Member Connect, Yarn Yard for Tall Tales. Julia helps me put so many of these places together that it's not just out of my brain. That's why I left it open. I'm really testing myself. I'm trying to push myself into remembering where all these new and wonderful places are myself. So don't feel alone when you have that moment. And as soon as we do get the new member Launchpad all completed with the cards that look like a finished product instead of these weird, random, yes, pretty, and they actually go with our theme because it's nature oriented. Like this is a picture of some cells under a microscope, right? And of course, dandelions and some sort of steam or smoke or water movement, right? Lots of nature pictures is what Mighty Networks chose for their generic images, which is so great for Collectively Rewilding, but it's going to look much more complete once she's got that done. And I'll do the little video tour in here, and then we'll do that email kit. And that's going to have all kinds of fun things. Even for us that are more present already, there'll still be fun things. And that's why I'm saying in CR, in LH2, look for that new way of an email style. And it's already present in LH2. It's not ready quite yet. You guys, of course, will know more about it as I get closer to launching it. I probably won't be quite ready to launch it until January. That's going to be my big push, is trying to have it ready for January. I have to get the gardening planner finished, like, and then you guys know how busy we are in LH2 as well. So, but as Miss Julia May has pointed out in her community, that is a community for community hosts. That's a little almost redundant sounding, but it's not, because as hosts, you know, sometimes you get very isolated. We don't so much. We have so much interaction in Let's Go Help Too, and then here in Collectively Rewilding, because so many of us interact and have those same desires for both sets of ideologies, right? Most communities, the person that's hosting that community, they don't have as much direct interaction as what I built into Let's Go Help too, right? Matthew's always gone live and he loves to talk to people in chat and everything. But going live in Let's Go Help too, where we talk back and forth like this, where we use our voices and we really get to hear what everybody has to say and let them have their moment to really focus on their goals and their dreams, whether it be for their garden or for their grant hunting journey, right? That's something that I've never experienced in any online community. And I wanted to bring that to our community because I felt as a lifelong learner and educator that that was a piece we were really missing when we were trying to show people how to get to what they needed to do. And so all of this, right? That's why I also did the how-tos on community outreach, because I have moved so many times in my life. I've had to build a community around myself over and over and over again. And I want to show people that it can be intimidating. And even to me, after moving, it's still intimidating. It is less intimidating than it was when I was 10 and I really started truly moving around the country on the western side of that continental divide, but still around the country. And it's intimidating, yes, but if you start doing it, you'll be blown away at how amazing it is to really get in there and interact with people like Megan did today. All she did was go to another town's meeting and got her voice heard for a second, and then she was able to speak to the assemblyman for the county, I'm guessing, right? Megan's a little bit rapid fire and chaotic, a little bit like Matthew Lesko. And so it's hard to tie her down to the specifics. So I'm not exactly sure where all of these titles fit into her overall region, but in the end, she got her voice out there. And all she really did was put herself in a position to be out there. And you don't have to even go that far. Hello, Miss Ethel. It is good to have you join us. How are you? And you have your hand raised. We'd love to hear
I
from you.
have my hand raised because Wendy had her hand raised and
Oh,
she
I
took it
apologize,
down.
Wendy. I missed it. Please go ahead, Miss Wendy. Thank you, Ethel.
Oh, thank you, Ethel. No, that's okay. I was letting you talk. That's why I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, no,
Um,
please interrupt me. Really, I mean it. That's what I'm here for, but I can always find things to talk about, right?
okay. I was because we're in the process of cleaning my patio because we discovered mildew and I didn't want to plant my babies in that type of situation with the patio. So what
So would you like some
what plants
resources to
work
deal with like
indoors?
mold and mildew and things like that?
Yeah, but we're gonna do it this weekend. We're gonna bleach and power wash it and everything. But until then, what plants are available? Like what plants are good indoors that really doesn't need sunlight?
Okay, so that's funny because we were just talking about that for Miss Charity as well. Two really common, easy plants that don't require a lot of sunlight. They do require some because we had an apartment that they called the dark corner in that
Mm-hmm.
apartment complex. It was so dark, it was ridiculous, and they will die if they don't have some sunlight. But snake plants and fly traps,
You
Venus
said
fly traps,
what plant?
snake plants and Venus fly traps. I'll share.
What is a snake plant? That sounds scary.
Oh no, it's so pretty and I think it's after like Medusa, right? Snakes for hair.
Oh, okay,
Kind
okay.
of it's not scary at all. It's a very pretty calm plant actually. And they are also very good air purifier. Mhm.
Oh, I like that. Oh, okay. I'm gonna look up
How
that
pretty those
one.
are.
I would love that.
Oh goodness. Let's see your pretty picture. It's a very pretty picture. That's a video. Are they not
And then the
recording?
second one was a fly trap, you said?
A Venus flytrap, right? No? Does
No.
Okay. Oh, they're not gonna have it. Oh, that drives me crazy. But anyway, this is a snake plant right here, right? Look how easy it is, apparently, to get it going. I didn't realize that. I purchased mine at Lowe's because they were good air purifiers, and we were in a downstairs stick-built home, but a separated apartment. So,
It doesn't attract any flies or anything or any
well, it
bugs.
all depends on how you maintain it. I put
Got it.
mulch on mine because I don't like bare soil, and so it did have the possibility of attracting that activity. You do not have to do that, and it will be much less likely to draw fly activity. The fly activity is a part of the decomposition process, which is a part of what provides the nutrients in our soil, right? Is
Okay.
that breaking
Okay.
down. So understand, and I'm not judging. That's not my point. I'm just explaining to you why they are there,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is a snake plant, and then this is a Venus. Oops, there it is. Venus flytrap. I'm not really worried about it being for sale, but they're everywhere. You can find them all over. See how neat they are. These are all 3 carnivorous. Funny, but we're just really looking for a Venus flytrap. Let's just
I
go with
was wondering, the one that being like in the tropical,
I think that they are
where are they
originally.
usually are? Like in the forest or something?
Wow, that is really like I think that's an image that's faked. But
It
maybe not.
is?
But that looks like that movie with, oh my goodness, Feed Me Seymour. Do you know? I can't.
Yes.
That looks just like that creepy
Feed me,
alien plant thing.
Seymour.
Yeah,
Feed
but these
me.
are
Yeah.
actual Venus flytraps, right? And they don't
Oh,
require a lot of light, and they will catch flies. So if you don't like flies, plant this in a pot next
that
to
is
your
really
snake plant,
cool. They
and you'll.
look scary because you don't want to put your finger in there,
Oh no, they're
but
very slow actually, and like
oh, okay.
it's scary in our minds.
Okay.
They're little too. They're little. Like,
Oh, that's cute.
yeah.
Okay.
You don't want it to
Can you
waste its energy
imagine
trying to
a
snap on your
plant that is
finger, right?
alive that does that? That is awesome.
Yeah. And it catches flies.
And it literally closes and catches it.
Yeah, it eats it.
Oh my God.
Pet plant.
Good thing they don't walk, right? Or crawl.
Plants are very aggressive. People don't realize any longer, but if you walked away from a corner of any town for 5 years, the plants would have completely changed that area if there wasn't measures put in place to stop that from
And
happening.
what about any herbs? Like I guess I got windowsill, so windowsill they could get
Oh, you can do
sunlight.
just about anything. So, what kind of herbs? Didn't we put together
I guess
some herbs
I could
for
say
you in your
thyme,
garden report?
oregano.
And this is Wendy, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's just go pull up your, I think this is a blank doc here. Perfect. Garden report, right? And see, I think that it had herbs in there as well, but we'll check and see.
Okay.
Oh, that's your, did I put it all together for you? No, I gotta find the right report. That's your LH2 report. Okay. Now my computer's gotta catch up with me. There we go. Okay, I found you. Hey. So oregano, parsley, cilantro, those were all things that fit in with the type of food you said you wanted to kind of get from your garden, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
And so those would all grow just fine in a windowsill garden. Cilantro bolts fast. That means it flowers and goes to seed really quickly. So once that happens, it changes the flavor of the plant, but it also grows really quickly. So you can just do continuous replantings of it and just harvest it until it bolts.
Okay.
And the parsley and cilantro are in the same family, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty certain. And so that's why you will see, do you ever have to really check to make sure you're not looking at parsley, you're looking at cilantro in the grocery store?
Yeah.
There's that close.
I mean, I could tell the difference of the smell.
Yes, absolutely. But sometimes to just look at the leaves, it can be a little bit hard to tell. Sometimes it's really obvious by the leaves, right? But sometimes it's not as obvious. And so that'll be the different varieties of oregano of cilantro and parsley that people grow. They'll look more or less like each other. And so a lot of fun. You can, I think, grow ginger in a pot, and you can definitely grow garlic in a pot, but I don't know how productive it would be. I've never tried. Let's just check it out. So,
okay, ginger. I love ginger. Oh, that'd be awesome if I could grow ginger root.
Mhm. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It can be grown easily indoors or outdoors in a container.
Oh, okay.
So you can definitely now they wanted a bigger pot a little bit. So if you have space limitations in that regard, right? Could you
Mhm.
possibly get like a little low, a little high table that's not too big, but that could
Okay.
set like right underneath your windowsill?
Yes, I
Could put
can.
a little bit larger pot on, and right,
Yes.
it just needs the plant rim, the plant pot rim just needs to be as high as what your windowsill is, so that it gets that light.
And how long
It
does
doesn't have to be.
plants usually need to be exposed to sunlight?
I
Because I
would
can
guess
always
it would
open up
probably
open
be
up
a
my
decent
nursery.
amount. Is it going to tell us here? Sunlight. Full sun that
Tennessee.
does well in a spot with morning sun and afternoon shade. So as long as it gets like at least 5, 6 hours of sun,
Okay, because I can always open my drapes and
and
then
you
let
can
it.
move it, right?
Yeah,
Because it's like
yeah.
not too big. We're not talking a 5 gallon bucket, right?
No, no. Yeah, actually move it. Exactly.
Okay. And so,
Okay.
yeah. And then let's just take a quick peek at your garden report again.
Either my kitchen window or my um living room window. I can move it to either or.
And you can also hang it from the ceiling if it will get that light.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those. My mom used to have those. Yeah.
We're going to do that with things inside of our kitchen area window.
Mm-hmm.
And see, we don't get a lot of sun on that side, but I'm hoping that the enough diffuse light, because we're going to go with herbs, and you can gather them pretty quickly, right? Herbs are very, very forgiving. Ginger isn't as forgiving, right? Like that's why I was
Oh,
like,
it's not?
no,
Okay.
not quite. That's why it needs to make sure it gets that morning sun if you can, or afternoon sun will be fine as well, as long as it's not like baking. Like my afternoon sun, if it
Mm-hmm.
only got afternoon sun, it sounds like that probably wouldn't be very good for it, right?
And what about garlic?
Garlic, I don't know if it's productive or not, right? Like that is the only thing. I know you can grow it in it, but I'm thinking it would probably work out. I've only grown it in the ground, right? Yep. Okay. Container gardening.
Because they said like one clove can make a whole bulb.
But again, it does need about a 12-inch pot, right? But still
Mm.
something easily moved and on that little table. And yes, again, it's probably going to need at least a good full sun. It needs a full sun.
Okay.
It doesn't give you a caveat. It needs full sun.
And do all pots need like holes in the bottom for water
That is for
to?
drainage. If you
Yeah,
know what
drain.
you're doing, there are certain conditions that you can set up when it doesn't have a hole in the bottom, but I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, you
Okay,
want to have a hole in the bottom for the drainage.
got it.
All you need to do is have, and I don't have any to hand, but just a single little, they have them at the dollar store in the spring, a clear little tray that you put that pot on with the hole in it so that it catches that water, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Someone just told me that. They said, yeah, just put like a little tray
Mhm.
on the bottom that will collect the water and then you just discard it, you
Or
know.
put it right back into another plant, or,
Oh, okay. Okay.
mhm. I
Got
don't really like to discard much of anything if I can help it, right? So
it.
I only put, because
Yeah.
most of us aren't going to have access to a gray water collection system, right? That uses the things that aren't toxic. If you use, so in a gray water system, when you're putting that back out into your plants, you wouldn't want to like go wash a bunch of things with bleach in your sink, in your kitchen sink, right?
Mm.
Would have a special sink that would be on your black water system that wouldn't go back to your, it would go down like with your toilet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I
Yeah.
still think that we should have a completely different system for that as well. But anyway, that's a completely different topic that we've been over more than once. So we get that and move on. You wouldn't want to put yucky things down it, but you could collect like your kitchen sink if you use just natural cleaners and not a lot of vinegar, not even like a lot of Dawn. There's certain things that would work and that would work less. And your shower water, right? As well, if you're
Mm-hmm.
using the kinds of cosmetics that can just get collected. And then, of course, if you want to be able to use more variety, you can put it on things that, like your garden, like your lawn, instead of your garden. If you want to
Yeah.
have the
Okay.
ability to use a little bit more in a gray water system, but you have to be more careful if you're putting it on any and all plants that are on the property, right? There's just always levels
Yeah.
of choice.
Yeah.
That's out,
Okay.
right? But yeah, you can definitely just take that water and put it right on another plant, right? Or you really don't want to overwater your plant. So having a little bit, that's not a super big deal. And if you don't want it to dry and leave like the stains of the dirty water, that's one thing, but it should never be a lot where you're like, right? It should just be a small amount of water that ends up dripping out. That does let you know it got thoroughly watered. So a little bit is okay, but you never want it to be in standing water. So if you get so much water that even with those little clear plastic pieces that go underneath the planter, right? They have these little ridges that run around them in circles so that the plant is raised up off of the very bottom. So there's airflow. So that if there's water, standing water there, as long as it doesn't go up to the bottom of the plant pot, there's airflow. So your roots don't drown. But if you let enough water get into that clear container that it comes up to the bottom of the plant, especially if you're in a humid area where it's not going to dry out quickly, then you will end up with root rot and your plant will start dying. You don't want it can't breathe and it becomes waterlogged. Instead of absorbing the water, it's stuck in that water and it can't breathe. So it starts rotting in the plant.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why that whole process, right? All right, everybody. Well, I'm probably keeping my husband up and we are a little after time, but what a fun class. So does that sound exciting to you guys to have a place to come in and look at what you would want to do in a traditional January, in a traditional March, July, whatever? Does that sound supportive for those of you that have struggled to do what you want to do at any given moment? Yeah. And classes each week that are built around that whole idea so that it's broken down in steps for each of us, right? So that we can really approach it and have that support. So many people don't exactly know what they're doing. They feel like they should, but they don't. And no, you shouldn't. It's been removed from our culture to some degree. So
I'm one of them. I'm learning. So yeah.
Exactly. And that's a beautiful thing. That's only to be supported and encouraged and cheered on, right? Because it's something we talked about in Country Living and Business today as well. When we're not interacting with a community, like what we get to do, we're lucky enough to have this wonderful online community, right? Hopefully all of you have some sort of physical community. Essel's got like crazy big community over there in Louisiana. So we're also missing out if we aren't touching nature, at least a little bit, right? It really is wired into our genetic code. We are nature. We only existed ever in nature. And then we try to remove ourselves like we're something other than nature. And it's not just a thought process. It actually does damage to our physical bio dome there's so many different words that fit it, right? Because you have your own biochemistry and you are your own individual little biodome and all these things. And so when you're not touching nature at all, when you walk on concrete and you go into an air-conditioned building and you get in your car and you go home and you eat processed foods and then you go to sleep in your air-conditioned apartment or home or your essentially heated apartment or home, and you have all your windows closed, it affects your own literal day-to-day genetic and chemical makeup, right? It's scientific to the degree that they've studied it. I believe it goes so much further than what they've been able to study, but they can prove it scientifically. These words are not just words. They're not just my opinion or my belief or my religion, although all of those could be said to some degree. It is scientifically studied these days, and they prove it. Megahertz and our electrical fields and our pheromones, all of these things, they're in existence all around us with everything that we eat. Even a book, this heavily processed part of a tree, and gosh knows what else to make the inks and things, right? And the adhesive. This still emits megahertz. Is that not wild? Right? And
Yeah.
that's a science thing, not a religion thing, not a heartfelt thing, is scientifically proven. So that's what we're here to open up everybody's world to as much as they can. It doesn't have to be huge. Or you could be trying to, what are we going to do tonight, Pinky? The same thing, or brain, the same thing we do every night. Pinky, I can't think of it right when I'm live streaming, but the same thing we do every night, Pinky. We're going to try to take over the world. Well, to some degree, I want everyone to see that they can have that part. I mean it, in the most barren food desert, whether it's the middle of an urban city or out in the barren desert that Tammy and Megan are, right? We talked about that in Country Living and Business, I think, too. So many things have correlated to each other, but you can interact with nature. Tammy's showing you, like those pictures that she showed you, and you could do it without all of the forced water, right? Like, we have to be grateful it's there. We live in the West. Oh, thank God, whatever. Thank the universe, whatever each person believes. But it can be achieved even in such a barren environment with less and less forced water through a system, right? Like water intervention through a human created system outside of the naturally prevailing water. You can take that naturally prevailing water and capture it and start capturing more and more of it in your soil and do as Tammy's doing and find those plants that work with what you've got going on. So, I'm all saying we have to close. I get so excited about this stuff, you guys. There's just so much going on. So I hope you all feel that, like Wendy said, she liked that idea, right? Of that gardening planner. All right, so our next class, speaking of Miss Tammy, is this Saturday. So 2 days, not tomorrow, but Saturday, the 27th, and Tea and Talk with Tammy, where she'll take you even more through what she's got going on there. Maybe she'll have cooked something with purslane by then. Ooh, I'm putting.
So it's Monday, Thursdays, and Saturdays?
We actually have one every day now except Tuesday, I think. Is it Tuesday?
Oh,
no,
you do? I didn't know that.
There might be one every day of the week. Yeah, I've added some new events in here, Miss Wendy.
Okay, so I have to check the calendar. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So for Miss Tammy's, right? She's this Saturday. She does one every Saturday. She pushes it back till Sunday a lot because she's so busy being out there outside. Can't judge her for that. And so she's at 12 o'clock p.m. Pacific, right? 12 o'clock noon for Pacific, 1 o'clock p.m. Mountain, 2 o'clock p.m. Central, and 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern. And I will be back with you guys on Sunday for Yarn Yard for Tall Tales at 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Mountain, 9:30 p.m. Central, and 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Hope you guys are able to jump in. And of course, yes, Miss Wendy, we now have one on Monday, one on Tuesday. And Candace, I don't think you're aware of it either. I'm not sure who all is in here with you guys, right? I just saw the first few as we were starting off. So Monday we have Explore Organic Soil Regeneration, as we've had. For those of you, like many of us, have a bad habit, whether it's vaping, smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol, watching too much TV, being on Facebook too much, whatever it could be, let's quit together. Can't you hear that old Planned Parenthood song in your head? That's why I had to put all the music. Let's quit together, yeah. And then
I have to stop drinking soda. I'm trying to cut back. So
I have switched from Dr. Pepper to an orange soda. So yes, soda is a very worthy addition to our group if you would like to join us, my dear.
Okay.
Okay, I can't put it in my hand and not put it in my mouth. Now, Wednesday we have how-tos for community outreach. Like this last Wednesday, we worked on what Miss Tammy was talking about there, where she's putting her letter together. She has some tamarisk or salt cedar that's a problem on her property, and we're doing everything we can figure out to get out into her community to see if there's somebody that can help her safely remove these tamarisk and leave the structure of her hill still safely intact in a flood zone, right? Because as dry as it is, that leads it to flood likelihood when there is any type of moisture that's prevalent, it just washes through everything. So it can wash things away so easily. So it's a big thing. So that's what we did this last Wednesday. And any of you that have projects like that, bring them on into How-To's community outreach, and we'll work through a plan so that you guys can start doing that where you are. That's the point of Collectively Rewilding as well, right? It's not just to hang out online. It's to work out how we're going to comfortably, happily, safely, with enthusiasm, not trepidation, enter into that bigger outer world, whatever that may be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, our Thursday class, and then we're back around. So it's Fridays that we don't have a class in Collectively Rewilding, but we do have.
So Tuesdays and Fridays.
No, we do have one on Tuesdays. I was
Oh,
wrong.
you do? Oh, I'm
Yep,
sorry.
that's the Let's Quit Together. No, I apologize. I said it wrong because this one's our brand new class, right? In fact, we've only had one and we didn't record that one. And anytime anyone, even if we're already recording, if we're in that moment and somebody's like, look, guys, I really need to talk about something and I don't want it to be on recording, we'll just stop the recording and won't even worry about it. And we'll have a private session because that can be a tough moment for people.
And what time on
right?
Tuesdays?
That's going to be at 2:00 p.m. Pacific, 3:00 p.m. Mountain, 4:00 p.m. Central, and 5:00 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes. And then on Fridays, though, we do have Action Plan for Your Nonprofit in LH2, where we get together with Megan and form that nonprofit of Collectively Rewilding, CRF, or Collectively Rewilding Foundation, right? We always hear Megan talk about foundations. So I'm starting a foundation for Collectively Rewilding.
Okay.
And that's what we do on Fridays. So there's literally an event that is about what we've got going on. Grant stuff still stays to LH2, as does the nonprofit venture, but it's all a part of what we're doing as a community, right?
Thank you. I appreciate it. You keep me busy.
Oh, you better believe it. Ooh, you come in here, you move to Utah, I'll keep you busier. All right, everybody. So it was such a fabulous class with you guys, as always. Please feel free to unmute everyone and say goodnight.
Good
Have a
night,
good evening,
Good night,
everyone.
everyone.
Hey, guys.
Good
So
night.
nice to see you all. Enjoy your beginning to your weekend tomorrow. See, Miss Rocky's being impatient again. She's not sure about all these live streaming events. She doesn't think they're quite as much fun as we do. Darn. All right. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye, guys.
Bye.